Lewis Hamilton's journey with Ferrari has started with more questions than answers. From the moment he first drove the SF25, it became clear that something wasn't quite right. The 7-time world champion, who dominated Formula One for years, is now facing one of the most difficult challenges of his career. But change could be coming soon. Ferrari is preparing a major upgrade for the Miami Grand Prix. This isn't just a small improvement. It could be the game-changer Hamilton has been waiting for. Right now, Lewis Hamilton is trying to find his rhythm at Ferrari, but time isn't on his side. Insiders believe that 2026 may be his final real chance to win an 8th championship. By then, the regulations will change, and so will the competitive order. Johnny Herbert, a former F1 driver and now a pundit, said it plainly. He believes 2026 is Lewis's last window. Hamilton will be 41 by the time the new rules take effect. He's still very skilled, but is he at his absolute best? Herbert suggests no, and more importantly, he believes Hamilton needs to beat his teammate Charles Leclerc first. And that, at this moment, is not happening. In the first races of the season, Charles Leclerc has been faster. The data shows it clearly. In Jeddah, Hamilton was more than half a second slower per lap in qualifying. He couldn't keep up with Leclerc's pace, and that's not just because of car setup or bad luck. There's something deeper going on. According to Alex Brundle on the F1 Nation podcast, Hamilton's driving style may not match the SF25. Brundle explained that when Lewis enters high-speed corners, he uses more brake pressure than Leclerc. That small difference causes the Ferrari to become unstable. The car doesn't like it. Leclerc, on the other hand, is smoother and more balanced on the brakes, which makes the car easier to handle. Hamilton himself has talked about the problem. After Jeddah, he said it felt horrible to drive the car. He described understeer in the first stint and then no pace at all in the second. He couldn't feel the car beneath him. He admitted that nothing obvious stood out in the data, just that he was slower through every corner, and that's a tough place to be. A champion driver doesn't like feeling helpless. But for now, there isn't one single fix. It's a mix of driving style, car balance, and Ferrari's unpredictable aerodynamics. However, this weekend in Miami could bring a turning point. Ferrari is preparing a major upgrade. The most important part of this package is a new front wing, designed under the updated FIA technical directive on wing flexibility. This new rule reduces how much wings can flex under load. For some teams, that's a problem. But Ferrari has been planning their upgrade for months, even before the rule change. According to Fred Vasseur, Ferrari's team principal, the team will introduce the new front wing as scheduled. It's an expensive and complex change. Each version of the wing costs about $1 million. Ferrari will need to produce multiple variants and spares, but they believe it's worth it. So what does this front wing change actually mean? In simple terms, a stiffer front wing could reduce instability at high speed. Less flex means the wing won't twist under load, which can make the car more predictable. But it also might cause more understeer in slower or medium-speed corners. That's the trade-off. Ferrari is hoping to balance this by improving airflow across the car. The SF25 has been very sensitive to ride height and airflow interruptions, especially when following another car. In turbulent air, it loses downforce and becomes hard to drive. Hamilton has suffered the most from this issue. The Miami GP will be a sprint weekend, which adds more pressure. There's less time for practice and setup changes, but that could also be an advantage. In Shanghai during the last sprint weekend, Hamilton looked competitive. He won the sprint race from pole position. That performance showed that the SF25 works better in lighter fuel conditions. If Ferrari can build on that, Miami could be a chance to reset the momentum. The upcoming upgrade is just one part of a broader development plan. Ferrari is already working on a new rear end that will be introduced after the Spanish Grand Prix. That upgrade will focus on improving rear end stability, which has been another weak point of the SF25. The team is also developing revised side pod and underfloor designs. These changes are meant to improve airflow and reduce the unpredictable behavior of the car, especially when following another car in dirty air. Ferrari's aerodynamicists have identified that the current bodywork causes a sharp drop in airflow velocity under the side pods. This creates instability and makes the car behave differently lap to lap, especially in traffic. The new bodywork will try to fix this by improving the overall airflow balance. The idea is not to chase raw downforce at all costs, but rather to create a more stable and consistent car. In today's F1, following another car requires almost a full second of extra speed to make a pass. So, improving airflow in traffic is more important than ever. But even if the car improves, Hamilton still has to adapt. That's the hard truth. His driving style, which helped him win 7 titles, may not be the best fit for Ferrari's current concept. According to Brundle, the question is whether Hamilton can coach himself out of 2 decades of muscle memory. That's not easy. Changing a driving style built over years of racing is like rewriting instinct. But Hamilton is trying. He has said it himself, he knows the car well and he sees the data. He just can't extract the performance yet. After recent races, Hamilton has been honest about the struggles. He admitted that the car felt awful and that there's no clear reason why. He also mentioned that Ferrari's management is not happy, and neither is he. But despite that, Fred Vasseur has stood by his driver. Vasseur said he's 2,000% behind Hamilton. He promised to keep working closely with Lewis and the engineers to find a solution. He also pushed back against suggestions that Hamilton's form has collapsed. Vasseur reminded journalists that the season is only 5 races old, and that ups and downs are normal in a sport as competitive as Formula One. There's also financial pressure. Ferrari, like every other team, is limited by an $18 million development budget for the season. Spending a large part of that on a new front wing and rear-end redesign is a big risk. But Ferrari believes in the potential of the SF25. They just need to unlock it. And that means understanding how to better balance the car, especially for Hamilton's driving style. One area where they are hopeful is qualifying. If they can fix the car's 1-lap pace, it might help Hamilton start higher on the grid. That would allow him to avoid dirty air in the race and keep the tires in a better working window. Qualifying better also boosts confidence, and that can change everything. The next few races will tell us a lot. Miami, Imola, and Spain will show if Ferrari's upgrades are working. If Hamilton starts finishing ahead of Leclerc or starts qualifying closer to him, that will be a big step. If not, then the doubts will grow louder. Johnny Herbert's warning about 2026 being Hamilton's last shot will start to sound more realistic. But there's still time. Ferrari hasn't given up. Hamilton hasn't given up. And the season is far from over. It's important to remember that even great drivers need time to adapt. Fernando Alonso took time at Aston Martin. Sebastian Vettel needed time at Ferrari. Every driver reacts differently to new teams and cars. But Lewis Hamilton isn't just any driver. He's a 7-time champion. He knows how to work through problems, how to lead a team, and how to deliver under pressure. That experience could be what helps Ferrari turn things around. The factory in Maranello is working hard. Engineers are analyzing simulations, wind tunnel data, and telemetry from every session. They are testing new parts, checking if the changes in the wind tunnel match what happens on the track. Red Bull, McLaren, and Mercedes are also pushing forward. The development race never stops. But if Ferrari's upgrades work, and if Hamilton finds a better